The Irish Goodbye by Heather Aimee O'Neill. Read for you by Kristen Sieh. August 1990. Like everyone at the beach club that day, Maggie heard the crash. She jumped up from the sandcastle she was building and spotted her brother, Topher, diving off the bow of his skiff and disappearing into the blue-black water along the lighthouse's rocky promontory. A moment later, he resurfaced, holding something she couldn't make out from the shore. Alice, Maggie's middle sister, scrambled to the top of the rickety lifeguard stand and shouted down to Maggie, "Get Mom!" Maggie hesitated. She wanted to see what was happening with her brother. Plus, she felt confident about her chances of winning the Port Haven Beach Club sandcastle competition. But when Alice shouted again, Maggie took off down the beach toward her family's house. She liked all the eyes on her as she ran, fists curled and arms pumping. From the dock, someone yelled, "Call 911." At the jetty that cut across the shoreline in front of her house, she scrambled over the rocks covered in slippery seaweed, slicing the inside of her ankle against a jagged edge. It stung, but she didn't stop. She hurried up the creaky stairs along the bluff and through the fence gate, calling for her mother. The geese fluttered their wings and scattered, frightened by her screams. She sprinted across the slope of lawn, wet from the sprinklers, and toward the white and blue clapboard Victorian, which suddenly seemed massive and terrifyingly empty. She called out again, and to her relief, her mother appeared from the garden, holding a paintbrush in her teeth and wearing her floppy straw sun hat. Her easel was set up by the lavender blooms she'd been painting all week, and splashes of red and blue covered her smock. She tucked her paintbrush behind her ear. "What's this about?" she asked. "Something happened," Maggie said breathlessly. Her lungs burned from the running. Her mother lowered herself to inspect the blood on Maggie's ankle. "Did you fall?" Maggie shook her head and pointed to the bay. "Is someone hurt?" her mother asked, standing. Maggie wasn't sure. She'd heard the crash and then seen Topher dive into the water. Her oldest sister, Kate, was supposed to be on her brother's boat, but she hadn't seen her there. "The boat Topher jumped in?" She grabbed her mother's hand. "Just come." Her mother untied her smock and chucked it in the direction of her easel, then raced past Maggie toward the beach club. At the dock, they found Topher helping Kate and his best friend, Luke, carry someone off his boat. Maggie tried to follow after her mother, but Alice yanked her by her bathing suit strap, and they stood next to the kayak racks with the club's camp counselors. Waiters in black pants and white polos trickled out from the clubhouse to smoke cigarettes and watch. It seemed that no one knew what was going on. "Is Topher doing CPR?" Maggie asked Alice. Alice nodded. Topher had practiced CPR on Maggie's favorite Cabbage Patch doll while training as a lifeguard, his big hands pumping the doll's puffy chest. She'd gotten annoyed with him then, but felt proud watching him now. "On who?" she asked. Their father rushed past them from the direction of the parking lot. He must have come from work because he was in his suit, but Maggie didn't know how he'd gotten there so quickly. He didn't acknowledge them as he rushed down the narrow dock. "On Daniel Larkin," Alice finally answered. Daniel was Luke's younger brother. He had given Maggie her first toasted almond, a dunk in the bay and then a roll in the sand, at the 4th of July barbecue a few weeks ago. Like Alice, he was starting the 10th grade at St. Mary's that fall. When the ambulance arrived, the onlookers scurried to the beach. Maggie gnawed at her thumbnail. The summer sky was bright, and she had to squint and hold her hand over her forehead to look out at the bay.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?